Hey, mi gente, it's Julie and Steve. You already know my name, but if you're new here, hey. Today we're going to be talking about couples who happen to be black but they in sports. And the reason why is first off, this topic was second choice for the video idea that people suggested on this channel, which by the way, thank you. And because I am curious about it, I put 10 specific couples that are in sports and or they were in sports. And then I'm just gonna give a backstory. Of course, some people are gonna go more in depth with because there's so much to cover. And then some people is just straight to the point. I do want to give a warning. I'm going to most likely butcher some people's names, last names, yeah. Okay, mi gente. Okay, mi gente. Okay. We're going to start. We're going to start now. To start off the video, I do want to acknowledge that black couples do exist in sports. Yes, black couples do exist in sports. However, it's not as common as you all think, and I'm specifically speaking on mainstream sports. And it also intertwines with like sports in general because where I'm from in New York City, it's very interesting when it comes to athletes in New York City. But anyways, I do want to note that when I talk about black athletes who happen to be in a relationship together, I'm also including biracial, aka mixed with black people who either partnered with a black person or someone who is biracial as well. And that's because when it comes to this discussion, that includes them in the discussion, especially in this scenario, because they chose to partner with somebody who is black or somebody who is mixed with black, aka biracial. So that's why I'm mentioning them here. And I want to make it clear right now because I've seen a couple of people misinterpreting what I said in the previous video. And I even had to put a pinned comment to point that out. But no, I'm not trying to gatekeep blackness from mixed with black people. But that doesn't mean that I cannot call them out as well. Okay, we can start with the first couple. Cindy McLaughlin-Levrone and Andre Levrone Jr. Sydney recently played in the 2024 Paris Olympics. She was a part of the track and field team. Her husband Andre is a former NFL wide receiver. They met in 2020, got engaged in 2021, and got married in May 2022. Congratulations to the both of them. They seem like a nice couple. Allyson, Felix, and Kenneth Ferguson. Allyson is an Olympian runner. Kenneth is also a runner. They met while teenagers at the 2002 USA Track and Field Junior National. The two wed in 2018, had their first child in 2018, and had their second child in 2024. Congratulations to the both of them as well. I'm just gonna keep saying that, I'm assuming. Simone, Biles, and Jonathan Owens. Yeah, I had to show my face right now because this is where we're going to talk a bit more in detail. It's funny because I'm looking at my notes and I just went straight to the point to go into the mess. But I do want to let it be known that Simone Biles is an Olympian athlete. She does gymnastics, whereas Jonathan is an NFL player. I forgot the name of the team that he's a part of. And that's because I didn't write it in my notes because I went straight to the point. So we're going to follow what I've written down. Back in 2024, news has struck on the internet that Simone Biles and Jonathan Owens, they were on the Pivot podcast. Jonathan said some interesting comments about Simone Biles. Basically, he was implying that he didn't know that Simone Biles was an Olympian champion.
How in the hell did you pull Simone Biles?
Really, how she pulled me, man? That's the question.
Oh,
man.
Lord.
Simone Biles' husband, Jonathan Owens, says he's the catch in their relationship and admits when they first started dating, he had never heard of the four-time Olympic gold medalist.
It's something you don't want to miss.
The newlyweds, who tied the knot back in April, recently sat down for a chat on the Pivot podcast and reflected on how they first met after Simone popped up on a dating app back in 2020.
Let me see who this is. Gymnastics. I ain't never, I never really paid attention to gymnastics, so it piqued my curiosity,
While it seems unlikely or even impossible that the Green Bay Packers safety had never heard of Simone, he tried his best to explain how the Olympic hero managed to fly under his radar.
When she won the Olympics, I was in college, and we didn't have NBC, we didn't have Olympic channels, and we're in camp. Late July, early August, so I'm not paying attention to, so I never would have had a moment to where I would have watched,
And the pro football player shared how he felt after she first messaged him.
I didn't know who she was at the time, but the first thing that I saw was that she just had a bunch of followers. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, she got to be good.
Once they connected, Jonathan says things took off fast. Simone driving 45 minutes to visit him in Houston, and the rest is history.
I guess sharing it is just a part of my story.
So you was really the catch in...
I always say the men the catch, man. I always say we the catch, man.
Yeah, so she really booked you.
She did, though.
Is what you're saying.
Because I was fighting it. I was afraid to commit. But, like I said, man, it happened when you least expect it.
He was making it sound like Simone is not the catch in their relationship because he is bigger to him, not to me or a bunch of other people, because Simone Biles' words speak for themselves. So, and also her talent too, because you can see it when you see what she does on the Olympic stage. I do not know what Jonathan was thinking when he said what he said. Because of that caused a bunch of controversy. To this day, people do not like Jonathan, and they were also trying to convince Simone Biles to divorce him. And she talked about this on the podcast. She talked about this on the Alex Cooper's Call Her Daddy podcast. She talked about how she felt like her fans weren't being supportive and that they were trying to tell her to do something that she doesn't want to do. She felt like people were misunderstanding the whole conversation and that people took it out of context. Now, I'm going to say my honest opinion. I feel like what Jonathan said, like I said earlier, it wasn't okay. It didn't make sense because Simone Biles' talent speaks for itself. It did not make sense. And then for him to do that in the predominantly black male space was very questionable. And before anyone says it, yes, I know one of the hosts is mixed with black, biracial, whatever, right? The reason why I'm saying predominantly black podcast is because almost everybody on the podcast is black. None of them corrected him. And I mean, wait. I'm take that back. One of them did try to push back for what he said, and he was trying to let him know, you're not ready to catch because Simone Biles is Simone Biles. And he did not budge at all. He was like, I still think I'm better. At the same time, I do believe that people were too harsh on them, especially on Jonathan. How are you going to tell Simone to divorce him? Their situation is not on that level of getting a divorce, at least to me. And I just think it's not fair for the two of them, in my opinion. Good luck. On to the next couple. Sloane Stephens and Jozy Altidore. Sloane is a tennis player and Jozy's a soccer player. They met while in middle school as they went to the same school. They started to talk and date around 2016. On New Year's Day 2022, they wed. Jozy has a son from a previous relationship. Congratulations to the both of them. I wish them the best. Sanya Richards Ross and Aaron Ross. Sanya is a former track star and Aaron is a former NFL player. While they were attending the University of Texas, Sanya and Aaron started dating. They got engaged in 2007 and wed in 2010. The two have 2 children together. Congratulations to the both of them as well. Alyssa Thomas and Dewanna Bonner. I think it's Bonner. Okay. Alyssa and Dewanna both play for the Connecticut Sun. They started dating in 2020 or 2021. In July 2023, Alyssa proposed to Dewanna. Dewanna has twin daughters from a previous relationship. Congratulations to Alyssa and Dewanna. Noah Lyles and Junelle Broomfield. As you know, whenever I show my face, it means we're going to go more into details. Yeah. So, if you're not familiar, Noah Lyles is an Olympian runner, and Junelle is I believe she also is an Olympian runner too. I'm not too sure about that because I think she didn't. Oh, I think she did run for the Olympics for 2024 as well, but she didn't. Oh yes, she did. I remember now. That's not the point. The point is that both of them are a part of track and field. However, Noah is a part of the USA team, while Junelle is a part of the Jamaican team. Now, when you hear this context, it gets more messy, but I just want to talk a bit about how they ended up together, and then we get to the mess, okay? Okay, everyone? They started to talk in 2017 on Instagram. They had a first date, I believe, around 2017 as well, and it didn't go well, but they remained friends. Fast forward to 2022, they started to build a relationship again after going on the sushi date. Now, there have been multiple controversies between Noah and Junelle, mostly Noah, but Junelle unfortunately plays a part of the whole situation too. Sometime in August 2024, Noah was called out for making comments about pillow talking with Junelle about the Jamaican Olympic team.
You know, Junelle being Jamaican and having trained in MVP, I've been getting the drama from Jamaica in camps for at least 5 years now. There's a lot of times where I make references to Jamaicans. I'm not saying it because I'm like trying to go back and forth. It's because I know information that other people don't. And it's like Junelle and Elaine used to be very close friends. Like they were training partners through 2021, very close. Then she was extremely close with Charokee. She's still very close with Charokee. You know, you see her in the series doing Shareeka's hair. You know, that's Shareeka's wig woman right there. You know, she's already, you know, she was just buying wigs for Charokee to bring to the Olympics yesterday. And even talk about like Kashane Oblique, like, you know, she's close with Kashane. I've known about a lot of the Jamaicans that are on the underground and usually Janelle's eye for talent is very strong. If she says that somebody's going to run fast, they usually run fast. So I'm very hip to information that a lot of people is just like, oh, this came out of nowhere. No, I kind of saw it. What were you gonna say, Noah?
She spoke on Kishane like pretty early. I remember, like
Mm-hmm.
he's been this good, and he just got hurt. He's about to do something crazy this weekend, and that was right before Jamaican Trust.
Yeah, and when you know we were in the interview and they said how fast he run, I said I hope he stays injured because I know that he's had a hard history with injuries, and that every time he runs fast, he usually has to be taken off because he usually hurt. So the fact that he was able to keep going is like, oh, this is great. You know, he's actually being able to show his full potential.
His comments stirred up controversy and harassment against Junelle. I'm saying this as a person who is not invested in sports. The controversy was not that big of a deal, in my opinion. I get it that people, unfortunately, are extremely competitive when it comes to sports, but that doesn't give you guys a right to, and I'm saying, not even guys, we're going to say how it is. It doesn't give the sports fanatics an okay pass to harass Junelle, no Noah, but mostly Junelle, because the comments were disgusting. I remember there were a couple of Jamaicans, specifically black Jamaicans, harassing Junelle and also making comments about how Noah's gonna leave her for a white woman. Like, that was weird. What the fuck is going on with some of you guys? Like, that anti-blackness be strong as hell. From what I noticed, Noelle has a track record of dating black women. So for you all to say some dumb shit like that was fucked up. And also, why are you guys making white women being the prize? Like, or non-black people and non-black women too. But I'm saying white women because they were specifically saying white women in the comments. But yeah, then there was some people talking about her skin complexion, like, yeah, that was ridiculous. There were a couple of people calling Noah sassy, and that supposedly that he likes men, and I'm like, what is wrong with you guys? Like, some of you guys have issues, because why are you, besides questioning somebody's sexual orientation in the comment section just because you feel like they act a certain way that is weird to you, or you feel like they have tendencies of being sassy or tendencies of talking too much, like, that doesn't make no fucking sense. Like, and then besides also being anti-black towards Junelle, but being colorist too, nah. Just because of a fucking sport, like, it's not that deep. It is not that deep. He was joking. He even said he was joking. And he had to publicly defend Junelle because of all this controversy. And I already have a feeling people are probably going to be mad because of my take here, but it is what it is. It wasn't only black Jamaicans. There were a couple of black people from the diaspora, like, charming into the conversation. But I'm going to be honest with you, those comments that I'm talking about, the colorist ones and anti-blackness ones, they were coming from Jamaicans, black Jamaicans. I did check their Instagram accounts, but that's and also the comments they did mention about Jamaica. But anyways, but my point is, I get it that I also understand that Noah can be a chatterbox and be too competitive and too confident, and that rubs people the wrong way. But did he really deserve this much harassment? Did Junelle really deserve this much harassment? They didn't do nothing too drastic to deserve this much harassment. Either way, I wish them the best. I do believe that they're going to continue going strong in the athletic field and in their relationship. I had to get some water, but I'm back. Marvin Harrison Jr. and Charokee Young. Marvin is a NFL player who recently signed with the Arizona Cardinals. Charokee is a track and field athlete. She plays in the Jamaican team. The two are really private about their relationship. However, it looks like they've been dating for more than a year. I wish the two of them the best. Who's next? Xavier Worthy and Tia Jones. Xavier is a NFL player who recently signed with the Kansas City Chiefs. Tia is a track and field athlete. Sadly, in 2024, she injured her ACL during the USATF Indoor Championships. I do not know how long they've been together. However, they recently got engaged in July 2024. Congratulations to Xavier and Tia. I wish them the best. Finally, Francis Tiafoe and Ayan Broomfield. Francis and Ayan are both tennis players. The two been in a relationship since 2015 and were thriving in their respective careers. Both have won numerous tournaments between the two of them. However, Francis is more consistent with tennis in comparison to Ayan. She mainly does influencer gigs and focuses on her nonprofit. Congratulations to the both of them. I know a couple of people are going to be like, why they not married? Well, some people just don't want to get married, and they probably have a reason why, but I just wanted to mention that because I have a feeling somebody's going to mention that. Because I think almost everyone I've mentioned, besides Marvin and Charokee and Noah and Junelle, they haven't gotten married. So people choose whatever it's right to get married, and that's okay. We're not all the same. I just wanted to put that out there. Black Love Matters in Sports too. In Black Love Matters, edited by Jessica P. Pryde, states, while mainstream publishing looks for racial redemption in interracial romance and multicultural stories about transcending race, my year-long deep dive into Black romance has affirmed one central truth. For many Black readers and authors, freedom and happiness can be found through the embrace of Black love that is extremely bound up with Black solidarity. To be clear, love is love, but even as interracial marriages grow increasingly common in the United States, and multiculturalism and diversity are ostensibly core American values, there is a strong sense that nothing provides a greater feeling of security and emotional fulfillment than Black unity and solidarity. One of the boldest statements artists can make is Black solidarity and joy over oppression and pain. One of the most resonant ways that Black writers express self-love and find joy is in stories about Black love. While this specific chapter of the book is focusing on Black love stories, this can relate to Black love in sports because to some extent, Black love in sports is being erased. I do not know how much of a scare it is, but I do believe it is in some way trying to be erased, but now we're getting like a resurgence of more Black athletes partnering with one another. It seems like the media is trying to push Black couples out of like mainstream success. And it's really sad to see. It shows that they do not want to see no unity when it comes to black couples, and or somebody somewhere somehow is trying to push an agenda that black men, black women, mixed with black men, mixed with black women are exclusively partnering with non-black people, especially in these big spaces. And to some degree, I do believe it. I do. I'm not even gonna lie. It's because when I was researching for this video, as an example, there were barely no black couples, black sports couples from Latin America, as an example, Afro Latinos. And most of the men, the women too, but most of the men were partnered with non-black women, non-black Latinas or white Latinas. And I don't want to say I felt some type of way, because I will be honest with you all, I wasn't that surprised, because unfortunately white supremacy has done a number to Afro Latinos specifically, but Latin America as a whole. So am I really surprised that most of the black athletes, especially the male athletes, are partnering with non-black people exclusively? No, I'm not surprised. But it is kind of concerning, because it shows that white supremacy is really pushing for a lot of forced interracial relationships and pushing the idea that this is acceptable. This is what a lot of black people want. Unfortunately, when it comes to like media consumption, it seems like the agenda is working in their favor. I do believe that there's a lot of redemption and a lot of ways for us to not make that happen. And one of them starts with educating yourself, interacting with people who are not trying to push an agenda that may cause harm within your family or future families. Education is key. I feel like if more people knew their history, because I feel like the people that exclusively partner with non-black people, they do not know much about their history. I'm pretty sure if they knew more, they would think twice, if not 3 times more, before exclusively partnering with non-black people. And then doing it because of self-hatred, doing it because they hate black people, or both. One more thing I want to talk about, colorism. Unfortunately, colorism is a huge epidemic in the black community, and I do want to touch on it right here, right now. Author Dream McClinton states, "Meanwhile, everywhere we look, women like me see successful black men coupled with fair-skinned female partners who pass the paper bag test. A remnant of the Reconstruction era, where the only black people worthy of attention had to be lighter than a paper bag. This test was even instituted in places such as historically black colleges and universities as an informal part of the admissions process. Unfortunately, within the black community, we have a colorism epidemic. Is it as bad as before? I'm gonna say 50-50, because besides social media, in real life, I've heard and seen some stuff I'm like, interesting, sarcastically. So I'm not gonna pretend like colorism is still not a thing. Unfortunately, it's still a thing here. And I can't speak specifically as a person living in New York City. I've seen it, I've heard it, and I've experienced it. So I know it's a real thing. Hopefully things change for the better, but I do believe if we continuously try to dodge the conversation, try to be supportive of certain decisions that our friends, family members, or random strangers within the community doing as okay. That's going to continuously make these situations even worse. And by situations, colorism, fetishes, racial fetishes, it's gonna make it worse. And I feel like more people need to talk about it. More people need to call this shit out. Besides on the internet but in real life, unfortunately, some people, they're gonna still have their own bigoted ideas, and if that's their case, let them be. As long as you try to say something once or twice, congrats to you. But after that, just stop engaging in the conversation. If you want to continue being their friend or interacting with them or partnering with them or be having ties with them as a family, you're going to have to find ways to figure out your boundaries. And if it's to a point where you cannot handle it no more, you're going to have to leave the situation. I know that's hard advice for some people to hear because family is family, friendships are friendships, your spouse is your spouse, but if it's coming to a point where you cannot deal with it no more, you gotta figure out a way to dissolve the issue. But back to sports, because I just noticed I didn't even mention the sports part. Oh my God. I'm gonna be honest, yes, I see this in sports. I've noticed that a lot of these men, they have a type, and I'm specifically speaking on black men, mixed with black men. They have a specific type. I'm not saying their relationships are not genuine. I'm just saying I've noticed it. So please do not get offended by what I'm saying. You obviously can see it. It's not something I'm making up. I'm not going to pretend that I do not see black men or mixed with black men partnering with brown to dark-skinned black women, because I'm seeing it too. And I'm probably going to show a couple of examples right now, somewhere, somehow. I've seen it too from the past and the present, but we're talking about the ones that are big, mainstream. It's not as common. That's why I do not want to pretend like I don't see it. I do see it. That's why I understand why black women like Dream are calling it out and are trying to have the uncomfortable conversations happening and find ways to get more allies to speak up and try to make this more of a lesser occurrence within the black community. Thank you so much if you made it this far in this video. I appreciate you. Be sure to like this video, comment, share, and subscribe. I would appreciate it. Let me know what you think of the black couples in sports that I've mentioned. What do you think about black couples being erased in sports? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Are you in the middle? As long as it makes sense, because if it doesn't, I'm going to ignore you, probably block you, or both. Okay, mi gente. Okay, mi gente. Okay. Thank you, and peace, mi gente.